Now we're ready to put all the information required by the indirect cost branch into a tidy packet and send it off to be examined by the analyst. Unfortunately, this must still be done on paper and mailed to them. Your proposal will then be assigned to an analyst who will contact you as soon as they are ready to negotiate. To begin, we need to return to the DFAS Indirect Cost Branch website. Links are provided on this page to the following items: a cover letter, which is a letter from the DFAS director describing an IDC proposal, definitions and examples, a simple explanation of direct versus indirect cost. Under this link is where you find the sample workbook to download. And IDC training, which is an overview of negotiating an IDC rate. Other links on the website are unallowable cost, a list of costs not allowed by the federal government, the IDC submission checklist of required items and the best place to begin, the accounting questionnaire, a list of questions about how your company keeps its books, time and effort reporting, which is a sample timesheet, salary distribution schedule, a form to complete with the salaries of each employee, the listing of federal grants and contracts, which is also a form to complete with all your contracts and grants. The last three links on the website are the executive compensation form for 3 years of information on executive compensation, certificate of final indirect costs that you have to sign to certify that your information is true, and audit requirements of for-profit organizations, a short explanation to read about if and when your company needs to have an audit done. The best place to begin is with the submission checklist. Most of these other documents listed on the web page are items on the checklist, so let's look at it. You'll notice that it is several pages long, and you also may notice that there seem to be a few things you do not understand. Don't worry, we will get through it. There are currently 23 items on the checklist, so take them one at a time. Notice there are 6 columns for each item. Number 1, the item number. Second column is the item question or description. The third column is for yes. The fourth column for no. Fifth column for NA or non-applicable. And the sixth column is for comments or attachments. Begin by filling in your company name and fiscal year for this proposal. Item number 1 is the proposal letter, which we will leave until the end. Item number 2 is for prior federal reviews, and since you're just learning how to negotiate IDC rates, probably means you've not had another rate review, so check no. Item number 3 is cost accounting standards, and usually this applies to contractors, which you are not. You're a grant recipient, so check no. But if you think this may apply to your company, click on the link and read about it. Item number 4 is a simple organization chart, which can actually be a Word document. There is no form for this, so simply write the names of the employees and their titles. Be sure to point out any employee that is paid with indirect funds, such as an administrator. Include a narrative on what the company does. Always be sure to put the attachment number at the top of the page and save each attachment as a PDF. Item number 5 is your profit loss statement generated from your accounting software. Number the document at the top and save it as a PDF. You may include other financial statements, but this is the main one they're interested in. Item number 6 is your salary distribution schedule, just a list of your employees, including yourself, with salaries broken down by direct versus indirect. You may use their sample spreadsheet form available on the web page or simply make up your own, being sure to include all required information. You may not yet have a company personnel manual, but it is a good idea and also required for this negotiation. You may begin with an online, already written manual and make changes that apply to your situation. or you may hire someone to write this or ask one of your employees to write it. Item number 8 is if your company has a retirement or pension or profit sharing plan and the costs are included in your proposal, then you need to check the box yes and answer the next 3 questions. If the company has already contributed to the plan, check yes on parts D, E, and F. Attach a schedule of amounts contributed, which you can either generate using your accounting software or manually generate it. Also, attach the summary plan description from your 401k or a description of any other retirement plan. Item number 9 is the company's leave policy, which may be a part of your personnel manual. If it is, check yes on A and note that in the comments. If it's a separate document, number it at the top, save it as a PDF, and check yes on A. For Part B, you must determine how your paid absences are counted in your proposal. In all the examples we have seen, paid absences are part of the fringe calculation. If they are direct, then in your proposal spreadsheet they will not be broken out as we have seen, but simply included in the direct wages. Item number 10 is if your company pays bonuses. If the bonuses have been included in the cost of the proposal, yes should be checked, and a list of the bonus amounts and dates paid. If there's a policy that determines if, when, and what the amount of each bonus is, you should provide that as an attachment. Items 11, 12, 14, and 15 are simple questions which are specific to your company. You should be able to answer these questions, but if you have any concerns, contact DFAS or link to the notes in each question. Item 14 concerns independent research and development, or IR&D, research that is not sponsored by grants. If you are unsure about this item, contact your DFAS analyst. If your company is strictly funded by grants, then you will not have this. Item 15 is a simple yes or no. Does your company do stem cell research? Item 13 is if you have paid professionals to perform accounting, legal, or other services. Make a list of their names with their addresses, the services they performed, and their rates. This can be a simple Word file. Item 16 consists of questions to describe your accounting system. There is a link to this form on the DFAS website and also on the submissions checklist. You must include an example of your employee's timesheet, and if you don't have one yet, there is a link to a sample on the DFAS website. 2 other items are also required in this form: a job cost project cost report and a chart of accounts from your accounting system. The questions and items are standard, but you might want to get your accountant to help you complete them. If you don't have an accountant, contact the Indirect Cost Branch for help. Item number 17 is miscellaneous income that your company has. If they have any, it should be documented here. Item number 18 are accounts or categories that your company normally considers as direct costs. You should be able to get this information from your grant application and the award letter. Typically, they would be wages, equipment, supplies, and travel. Write the account names in the comments box if you have enough space. Otherwise, use an attachment. Item number 19 is the executive compensation form. It's also downloadable from the DFAS website. You will need several pieces of information from your company, including the NAICS code, the entity form, total sales, total compensation, and other pieces of information. This form normally covers 3 years of compensation, but if this is your first IDC negotiation, you'll only have 1 year of data. Skipping items 20 and 21 for now, item 22 is the schedule of federal awards. Basically, it is a list of all grants or contracts your company has received that are active during the year of this proposal. The form is downloadable from the DFAS website and requires information contained in your grant award letters. The only information needed that is not in your award letters is the column Award Expenditure This FY, which will come from your accounting system. Items 21 and 23 are related. Item 21 is simply stating that you read the online article, Audit Requirements of For-Profit Organizations. When a company spends $750,000 or more of federal funds, the federal government requires the company to have an audit done. The article is not very long and gives you information for when you do reach that threshold. Check yes and put the date you read the article in the comments. After reading item 21, you may determine that your company requires an audit. You should contact your accountant to have an audit done according to DCAA guidelines. This is item 23. Make a note that an audit is being done, or if it is finished, the date the audit was submitted. If the audit was not needed, simply check NA and state that in the comments. Item number 20 is only if this IDC submission checklist is for your final actual cost. Typically, you would submit a proposal mid-year for what you project your cost to be. After the end of the year, you must submit your actual cost in a proposal. We're almost finished. For item number 1, you must write a proposal letter, which is simple but must contain several important pieces of information. I left it to the end because this checklist is a lot of work and you are probably tired of it. But please don't confuse this with the cover letter on the DFAS website, two completely different things. This letter must include the company's current address, usually in your letterhead, the EIN and DUNS numbers, how long the company has been in business, the fiscal year accounting period, and the indirect rates that you are requesting. There is no form letter for this, but you may use my sample letter which has the DFAS address and just fill in your information. Please use your letterhead and number it at the top because it is an attachment. Remember to add please see attachment number 1 on item number 1 on the submission checklist. Now let's practice what we've learned. Click on Escape to exit this video, then click on Practice for Module 3 to practice what you've learned.